We have some major breaking news that has been announced that Kings Hawaiian will sponsor Joe Gibbs Racing and Denny Hamlin in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to your video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive major breaking news as it has been officially confirmed that Kings Hawaiian will not return to RFK Racing in 2025 and instead will move over to Joe Gibbs Racing for the 2025 season. Here's the announcement from Joe Gibbs Racing themselves. They say Joe Gibbs Racing has signed a multi-year agreement with Kings Hawaiian. Denny Hamlin will drive the number 11 Kings Hawaiian Toyota Camry XSC in 4 NASCAR Cup Series races this season. In addition to that, they are expected to be an associate sponsor for Denny Hamlin in 2025 for every single race. This is absolutely huge. Kings Hawaiian has been with RFK Racing since the middle of 2022 and have sponsored Brad Keselowski many races across the last couple of years. But it was rumored over the offseason, reported by Adam Stern, that Kings Hawaiian was not going to be back with RFK Racing for 2025. And then there were a lot of questions kind of surrounding where they were going to go for the year. The only logical places that I think Kings Hawaiian could have gone to were Joe Gibbs Racing to sponsor Denny Hamlin or multiple drivers at the team. Or maybe a team like 2311 Racing to sponsor drivers like Bubba Wallace and, of course, Tyler Reddick perhaps or Riley Herbst going into the year. Joe Gibbs Racing made the most sense because Kings Hawaiian wasn't going to be, especially with Kroger going over to RFK Racing, right? It made the most sense that they were probably going to go over to Joe Gibbs Racing for this season. This is not only big for Joe Gibbs Racing because they pick up a massive brand and massive sponsor for this season, but it's pretty huge because they're going to be working with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, it seems like, has lost 2 major sponsors going into 2025. One of those being FedEx, which was a longtime partner with Joe Gibbs Racing since around the 2004 to 2005 year. They've been working with Denny Hamlin his whole entire career, but they've been backing off their sponsorship, and it was confirmed basically on championship week or a couple weeks prior to that around Kansas weekend that they were not going to be back with Denny Hamlin for the 2025 year. And Mavis Tire is no longer listed as a sponsor on the Joe Gibbs Racing page, which seems to me that Mavis Tire also may not be back working with Denny. Now, they're still listed as a sponsor on Denny Hamlin's personal page on Twitter, but it seems like Mavis Tire is very unlikely going to come back to Joe Gibbs Racing this year. So while there's still a lot of races that do need to be confirmed, at least we know one sponsor that will be working with Denny Hamlin in 2025. This is really, really huge. I'm really intrigued to see what the car is going to look like because they did not show the paint scheme. And I'm wondering what races we're going to see this car. We're expecting the Sports Subs car to sponsor for quite a few races as well. So they're probably going to step up their sponsorship for the year. But this is at least a little bit of a win for Denny Hamlin. Because there's a lot of concerns about Denny Hamlin's future over at Joe Gibbs Racing, right? There is talk that this could be Denny Hamlin's final season. And Denny Hamlin also losing a couple major sponsors, plus having a new crew chief going here, though Chris Gabehart's still going to be working very closely with the team in 2025. At least we know that they're going to have a good sponsor to work with this year. And again, I'm very intrigued to see what the car is going to look like. But going to Denny Hamlin himself, like I've already mentioned and said, Denny Hamlin is starting to get up there in age a little bit. He will be 45 at the end of this year. And it's very realistic at this point that this could be Denny Hamlin's final year in the NASCAR Cup Series, unless his contract does go through 2026, which at that point Denny Hamlin could stick around for another year. And let's say Denny Hamlin does have a fantastic year at Joe Gibbs Racing, that could lead Denny Hamlin to sticking around long term, but I'm just not sure at this point if that is truly going to happen for Hamlin because, like I said, Denny Hamlin is starting to get up there a little bit in age. Plus, you think about his teammates, right? He's going to have 3 young, hungry drivers over there. Christopher Bell, who I expect to have a massive season with the team this year after being the fastest Joe Gibbs Racing driver overall in 2024 on a consistent and a winning basis. You've got Chase Briscoe, who I expect to be very, very competitive in 2025, who I think is going to be a championship threat. Not championship threat, but I think down the road could be a championship threat with Joe Gibbs Racing. And you have Ty Gibbs, who had a bad end of 2024, but he's going to have a new crew chief this year. And I think Ty Gibbs could be down for a breakout season in year number 3 because historically drivers have won in year 3. Kyle Larson won in year 3. Chase Elliott won in year 3. Harrison Burton won in year 3. I could see Ty Gibbs getting his first career win in his 3rd season. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. Denny Hamlin is going to be a big talking point throughout this year because obviously he's involved with the lawsuit, with 2011 and Front Row Motorsports being involved with that. Same with Michael Jordan. There was talk that Denny could be losing sponsors because of the lawsuit going on, unfortunately. unfortunately. His other drivers are involved. The same thing with Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Riley Hurst, and same with the front row drivers of Zane Smith, Todd Gill, and Noah Gragson in this sense. That's lawsuit. They've lost sponsors over 2311. Dr. Pepper is no longer listed. I saw the fire suits, and Dr. Pepper was not listed on the fire suits for 2311 during production day yesterday. So that is certainly very, very interesting. But again, at least on a positive note for Joe Gibbs Racing fans and Denny Hamlin fans themselves, at least Denny Hamlin will have a pretty big sponsor to work with in 2025 because King's Hawaiian is a sponsor that you can just instantly pick up. And I'm very excited to see what the Joe Gibbs Racing design department over there can really do this year. It's also going to be interesting to see how the season does play out for Denny Hamlin going into 2025 because like I've already mentioned and said, this could be Denny Hamlin's final season in the NASCAR Cup Series. I really hope Denny Hamlin can have a strong year with the team and can have a fun year with this program because this could be his last year. Joe Gibbs, he could also next year go to 2311 drive for his own team if they decide to run a 4 part-time entry, which is certainly possible. It would also be cool if drivers like Carlos Gribbus could drive that car as well. But I got to say, Denny Hamlin, I think, good to see he at least has a sponsor for the 2025 year. The big question will be what other sponsors will work because we've seen some new sponsors come in this year. Obviously, with Amazon Prime working with Chase Elliott very closely this year, you've got other companies coming in. And I think it's really fun to see that at least a big company like King's Hawaiian will get to work with JGR in 2025. I'm excited to see what this car will look like, what the sponsors will look like, and we'll see how it looks on the track. And we'll see what race they win. Honestly, I hope they run the car at Gateway because I'm trying to be there at Gateway later this year. It'd be cool if that sponsorship showed up because I think King's Hawaiian, if I'm not mistaken, did sponsor Keselowski Gateway last year. So I'd love to see them be one of the races they go to because I think it'd be cool to see a King's Hawaiian car out on the racetrack. So really exciting stuff nonetheless, and great to see that King's Hawaiian will be sponsoring Joe Gibbs Racing and Denny Hamlin in 2025. So that is going to be our today's special breaking news report on King's Hawaiian joining up with Joe Gibbs Racing. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me through Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment below your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about Joe Gibbs Racing picking up some new sponsorship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later this morning on the channel, there'll be a long NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We'll touch more on the King's Hawaiian story. Tomorrow on the channel, if there's not enough news to go over, we will be doing a video surrounding some news, potentially doing all the major silly season moves that have happened throughout 2024 going into 2025. Friday, there should be a NASCAR news video dropping. Saturday and Sunday, we've got the Rolex 24 coming up, which is really, really exciting. There will be a review on the Rolex 24 dropping on Sunday. Saturday, we'll probably have a video talking about top 10 anticipated races headed into 2025. And the truck lineup should be coming out probably in a couple weeks from now. I'm thinking it'll be coming out after the Clash concludes on the Monday or Tuesday after that. So expect to see that. We'll be talking about people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, losing, of course, King's Hawaiian sponsorship, Ryan Preece, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Matt DiBenedetto, Cletus McFarland, other big names in the sport. We'll be talking about them. Sam Marshall, the Creek 2. Expect to talk about them on the channel as we get closer to the start of the year. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.